All right, so here we're talking about cutting things. Okay, once again, you can't cut something if it's a group. Okay, so let's ungroup that. So I go right here and go ungroup right here. Okay, so now if I want to cut this other leg off right here, okay, so if I draw a line across this right here, okay, well, that's an arc. Well, that'll still work. That'll work. Okay, that's an arc line right there. Okay, so there's our line right there. Now I could pick up my cutting tool and I could zoom into here, and now I could cut that off. I could cut that off, right? I could cut this right here and I could cut that. But now look how we don't, whoop, undo that, edit, undo that trim vector. But now look how we don't have, see how that square, that line doesn't go across to right there? If I wanted to go across, right, I could draw another line. I should have done that before, right? But I could draw another line right there. Okay, close. Now I can cut this right here, that right here, that right there, this right here, that there. And now that V-carved bit will run down through there and she'd be an amputated cow. Okay, you know, and that's not what we want, but that's how we would do things like that. Okay, now see all this stuff in here? See, like I got that right there, this right there. Let's say I wanted to get rid of those spots. Okay, now watch what happens. If I drag this way, see, only the things inside the box were highlighted. See that? If I drag this way, from right to left, everything the box touches is highlighted. That is invaluable. When you're doing things like this and you're trying to get rid of little dirt in there, like little things that are bad in your drawing, and you're trying to get rid of that stuff, instead of having to go in there and select everything, I can just draw a box over it going that way, and see the only thing the box goes completely around will be highlighted. Okay? If I drew that same box going this direction here, everything the box touches is highlighted. Okay, so that comes in real handy. Did you know about that, Gordon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You did, okay. So,
I got that.
all right, okay. So, all right. So that's just some drawing things right there. Okay, that text right there. See that text right there with the box around it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say you said you make jewelry boxes?
I make all kinds of different, yeah, I
Okay.
make little jewelry boxes. It's like a little roll top desk. And
Okay, so let's say you get good at this and you want to make a jewelry box and you got it down pat. Okay, and you know on your jewelry box that you're going to have a spot that big right there. We'll go back there. That's 5.5 inches wide by 2 inches high. Okay, and you might want to put your granddaughter's name in there, your daughter's name in there, whoever's name in there someday. Right, so we got a box right there. We're just going to hit apply. But that's how big the box is going to be. Okay, if you hit this text box here, okay, and highlight that right there, give me a name.
John, Skylar. S-K.
Oh, S-K.
S-K-Y-L-A-R.
Y-L-A-R. Okay, now see how it fit exactly in there? Okay, now one thing, anything with a Y, I don't like letters like that because they hang down and they really screw up your V carving. Okay, so what I would do is I would capitalize everything.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, is it like that? Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, but now also look, we're missing some space there. Okay, so if you go down here, and I got a vertical stretch right here. I can stretch the characters right there. And if it wasn't fitting horizontally, I could also stretch the characters also right there if it wasn't fitting horizontally. Okay, so now I can hit close. Okay, so now we got Skylar in there. Okay, well, now we've done that job. We've done the V carving for it. Okay, so now just delete that. Okay. So now somebody else wants to, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Let's go back. So now somebody else wants to do that. You can delete the box even. That's what I wanted to delete. So I can go back here. Now somebody else wants that same sign, okay, that same thing. So now give me another name.
Jace. J-A-C-E.
J-A-C-E.
Yeah.
And now his name fits exactly in there. So if you have a spot on something that you're going to make over and over, right, I just got to draw the box and get it in there, right, and then I can replace that text anytime I want. And I would have that on my own little layer. And here, let me, can I show you what I'm talking about?
Yep, sure.
Okay. Let me open up another file right here. I'll show you what I'm going to make this weekend or tomorrow. Okay, open existing file. Okay, OneDrive, skills. Yeah, there it is right there, approved 2019. Okay, I got to make 6 of these up for this next week on a different date. I got to put a different date in there. But what I did here, okay, see how I got 3rd place, 1st place, and 2nd place right there? They're all there. Yeah, I did each and every one of them, but I just replace them. So if I, let me see how I got to do this here again. If I hit that and I take away the 3rd and I take away the 2nd right there, and if I hit preview toolpaths and only preview the visible toolpaths, right? Okay, there's my 1st place award. Okay, now if I reset the preview, right? And if I go back down here, whoop, and I don't know why I'll close that right there. That's why. Okay, and I get just my 2nd on there. Okay, now if I hit preview the toolpath, preview all visible, right? Now I got 2nd place. I got the same thing, right? But you can use that box to change somebody's name whenever you want, right? And you would have that labeled name or whatever, mm-hmm. And whenever you change it, you could just change it and it would fit in the same place every time. Okay, that's what I'm kind of talking about, is you can change it. See, I need to change that date. Okay, so let's go in there and change that date real quick. Okay, I think we're still recording too, so this is all good stuff. Okay, so I got to go back in there and change that date to I believe the 28th is next Friday, correct? Yep, there it is right there. Okay, so if I go back over here to my 2D view, right? I'm going to turn off. Let me go back over here and turn this stuff. Oh, they're all off. Okay, yeah, they're all off already. So if I go right here, okay, now that's all on one text, which is fine. Okay, so I just got to change this right up here to January, February, yeah, the 28th, 2020. Okay, and hit close. Okay, now that didn't fix anything yet. Okay, that just fixed it here on my drawing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now what I could do, now that I changed that, is all I have to do is hit recalculate all. Okay, and it's going to go back and recalculate all that stuff. Okay, everything's been recalculated. Okay, so let's turn off. We've already seen 1st and 2nd place. Let's see 3rd place now. Okay, so if I go right here and I reset my preview all visible toolpaths, now I got February 28th. Okay, so that if you keep your files and you learn how to manipulate, it's the same plaque over and over, right? But I can change that just by selecting the tools right down here. You don't have to recreate it every time. Make it one time and you can do it like that. I'm going to save that because I got to change that anyway. I was going to do that later on today anyway. Okay, So if you're doing something like that where you want to have something to change the name, you draw a box, and you after that, this is memorized that box size. So now whatever name, see if you put in here now, if we go in here and change this to Schroeder, my last name, okay, Schroeder, okay, whoop, let's make it all capital. It'll fit. It'll make, because we set the parameters and we'll make it fit. Now, obviously, if you get too much text in there, it's not going to be able to carve it out cleanly, right? But it'll make everything fit in there accordingly. So that's a nice feature, okay? Everybody see how that works? Okay. Right. So another nice feature here, okay, so let's just kind of draw a squiggly line here, okay? So let's draw a line like this, up here, whoop, that's not the line I wanted, I'm sorry. I want this one here. So we draw up here, 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 and we'll go there, okay? And then we're going to draw another line.
Looks like your stock market.
Yeah, well, no, my stock market goes like this.
Oh.
I buy high and sell low. Yeah, that seems to be my story of my life. Yeah, it does kind of look like the stock market. Now, I don't know why you would ever want to do this, okay? Right, but I got two lines right there, okay? And let's type my name once again, okay? We'll just stick with my name. Okay, let's put Schroeder. Okay, now that's pretty small, but we'll live with it for right now. Okay, so there's Schroeder right there. And we want, for some reason, we want that text to go in there because that's the shape of our object or whatever. Okay, so I got Schroeder highlighted, and see this distort selected object? I select that right there. I hit between two curves, right? I select that one there and select that one there and hit apply, and there's Schroeder in there. Okay? Okay, now, see my starting point right there? Let's undo this. Edit, undo. Okay, let's close this right here. Let's make the starting point over here. Remember I told you that will really mess you up?
Right.
Okay, node edit. Okay, let's put that over here now. Make starting point. And let's go back and do that same thing again. Okay, so if I select my text, right, hit my distort object, right, between two curves, right, hit that and hit that, right, and hit apply. See what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And the first time you do that, you're like, what the hell, what did I do wrong? And you're like going, I don't understand. Why is this not working out right? Because when you're looking at it, you don't see that green dot right there. You just see that there. And you're like, you're trying to flip your text, you're trying to do all different kinds of things, and you got to have that line go in the right direction. Or the correct direction, we should say, the correct direction. Okay, so that's a real neat feature. Okay, now another thing you could do with that distort box, let's do undo. And see, I'm recording all this, so you guys will have all this. Okay, so there's my name right there. Let's move this up here so we can zoom in on it a little bit. Okay, well, if you had let's move all this out of the way here real quick. Okay. If you had a ribbon, okay, let's pull a ribbon in here. Okay, let's pull a clip art in here. Okay, let's panels and shields. Okay. None of those have a real good ribbon. Okay, design and make, let's find, that will have a nice ribbon. This one will be better. Okay, there we go. Let's pull that in here. Okay, and let's make that a lot bigger though. Okay, so now let's say you wanted Schroeder right across there. You could draw two lines to match that and put it between the two lines, right? Or you could come up here, let's find our Schroeder. Where did that go? That disappeared on us pretty easily. Okay, let's move this back over here. Or you could come up here like this. Gets back to our drawing folder here. Okay. And you could put that somewhat and make it somewhat close. You make it somewhat close to that right there. Okay. And now you could go back to that same thing and call it a bounding box now. Right now you get to play around with this, and you can drag this corner up there like that. Right. And I could drag this over here like that. All right. Okay. Then every time I do something, it'll put a new node in there right there. And see, now I could just start manually pulling that down where I want it. Now I could pull this down here, down in there. Okay, then I could pull that down in here like that. Okay, and then I could pull that down in there like that. Okay, but you guys get the idea, right? Okay, so now that leads us to another thing right here. So that's our 3D mold right there. Let's just say that's good and we got it all done good. Okay, now if I look at my 3D view, that's what we're trying to carve out right there. Okay, we're trying to carve that out. Okay, this here takes some practice. Okay, because this, you got to start really thinking real three-dimensional now. Okay, so if we come over here now and we want to carve that out, let's go over to our toolpath files right here. The first thing you're do is going to do a roughing cut. Okay. And let's just see what it says here. Okay, see, it brought this up because, you know why? That's thicker than our material. Okay, and it's real hard to wrap your head around there. When we pulled it in, it's thicker than our material. But this tool here gives you a way to fix that. It fixes everything, right? So my material thickness, we have to set it right here, and we're going to set it at 0.74. Okay, right? We hit apply. Okay. And we should be good now. Okay, hit close. Hit OK. Okay, so we're just going to use the model boundary, and we're going to have an offset right here. And we're going to hit calculate. Okay, so there, preview that. And there's my roughing preview right there. I'm going to leave that material color so we can see that better. There's my roughing toolpath. Okay, so now let's go back here one more time. So that's not good enough for us right now. So now let's go back here. That's my finish toolpath right there. And let's just hit that right here and hit calculate. And you'll see where I'm going with this here in just a second. Okay, preview all toolpaths. Why did it not get preview all toolpaths? Why is it not cleaning that out?
Did you not change the thickness of your...
No, I shouldn't have to do that.
Shouldn't have to do that.
Oh, I did roughing again. I did roughing twice. That's why. Yeah, no kidding now. Delete this. Okay, let's delete one of those. I need to go to that one there. I was like, why didn't... Okay. Right now, calculate that. I did roughing twice. And this is going to take some time to calculate that. Okay, now preview all visible toolpaths. And see, now it cleaned all that up. Okay? Right? Okay, but now remember we had that text on there, right? Let's go back and fix that up just a little bit better. Okay, let's get this Schroeder over here a little bit better here. Okay. Ah, come on. Okay, and let's go to the bounding box. Okay. I should have done that all right then and there. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, now it's not going to be 100% right because I should have done it all at one time, but you'll get the idea. Okay, just bring that down just a little bit. Okay, and let's bring that up a little bit over here and a little bit there. Okay, so now there's our Schroeder right there. I would have spent a lot more time and I would have fixed that correctly. Okay, If I go over here now and I hit V-carve, okay, I'm not going to use an end mill. I'm just going to hit the flat bottom depth right there. You want to make sure now project that onto the toolpath, the 3D model, because now V-carve knows how deep it cut into there. See what I'm saying? You see you know what I'm talking about? So now if I hit calculate now, right, that will project the depth, because these are all different. You can't go by the Z height anymore, right? You still set the Z height, but now it knows how deep that is, right? And now if I preview all toolpaths, right, there's my Schroeder. It's going to be just right. Okay? See how that works? So if you're doing it on a 3D object, you got to project that on to your 3D object. Okay? Does that make sense to you all? Okay. So that's just some of the things you can do with text. You got a lot of different options with text. Now, another thing, let's look at one more thing here on text. A couple more things on text. Okay. If you pull up a real fancy clip art, or not clip art, or let me find one right here. Like that text right there. Okay, and let's just stick with Schroeder. Okay, Schroeder. And let's make that bigger though. Let's make that 3 inches. Ooh, I did a small s, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay. Schroeder, right there. Okay, well, I guess that'll work, I guess. But see how these are all crossing right there? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, your V-carve is going to go in there and try to do each one of those, and it's going to come in there. It's going to run into, it's not going to look correct. Okay? It's not going to flow, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Okay? So what you can do, right, is you can highlight that, and then see that weld right here? I can hit weld, and it says, okay, I want to replace it. And it welds everything on the outside, and now look at the difference. See how everything's flowing together now? Right? And it cut all that out for us. Okay, it used to be you had to highlight all the islands, but they fixed this in this last revision. Now everything is more flowing together for us. Okay, and that's called welding right there. Okay, and that's a nice feature to know how to do too. But that will fix your text like that. Okay? Right? So those are just some things on text. You can convert your text into curves. Now that no longer is text now. Okay, that's a curve now. Once you do that, it converted that into a curve. So as soon as you did that, you'd want to regroup that together. Okay, because that's all going to be individual things. So you'd want to group that back together, and now I could make that the correct size or whatever I wanted to do. I could move that around. But if you didn't group that together, you'd have problems. Okay, right? So we've covered, this you want to know about too. Okay, so let's use Schroeder again. Okay. I'm just trying to find as many things as I can show you. Okay. Okay, let's say we wanted that E and the R to flow together, and maybe that E to touch right over there. Okay, see how everything else is almost touching? Right, I can pick this guy up and see how I can move there. That now see how that's touching right there? And I could bring this over to here, and I could say, okay, that's how I want it. And maybe I want that D to touch right there, so everything's touching. Okay, now everything's touching there. Okay, now I could go back to that weld object, hit replace, and now see how everything is that's all one long word. Okay, so you can space out your text if you want to. That's a handy feature. Okay, so we've covered text, we've covered, these are just your shapes. This is a nice thing to know here, Jordan, right here. If I want to do a star right here, okay, see I can draw a star. The American star is 5, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, but that's not correct, is it? And to fix that where they're going across, I believe that's 37, if I'm not mistaken. I read it somewhere, apply. Yep, it's 37. See how you get those straight across now? Right there. So if you want to do the American flag, right, you copy something, it's not going to come in there as clean as that. Right? So you could make this and put, make those and put that over, your bitmap or whatever, and you could have real nice, clean, crisp stars. But that 37 angle that's what gives you that straight across like that.